All right. Yesterday was an outstanding day, I thought. So, if you have a couple questions, you can let me know now. Avery, where are you at?
I need help on for the last page number 6.
The word problems?
Yeah.
Okay, these are really important. All right. These are going to help you out with your ERBs. All right. So let's take a look. Make sure you do these all the time. All right. Even if you don't know how to do it, at least read it and try something. All right. Refer to the information in exercise 5. Use Jade's pattern to predict how to write 0.416. Oh, you know how to do this. I bet. How do you write that as a fraction? Anytime it repeats, remember? Say it again. Come on.
406
Over.
over.
Yeah, look at you, girl. There you go. Easy, 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 easy. Good job. For those guys who know that, that means you're listening well.
Yes.
All right? That's a nice thing to know. Most people don't know that. Yes.
I had a question on 31.
31. Let's take a look at 31. Was it on the second page?
Yeah, it was the one we're supposed to be on.
All right, here we go. So let's take a look at this now. I'm going to erase this because this was some notes from yesterday. So let's take a look real carefully and see how you did. All right, it says that the smallest flowering plant is the flowering aquatic duckweed found in Australia. It is 0.0236 inches long and 0.0129 inches wide. Write the dimensions as a fraction. Oh, this should be pretty easy, even though the numbers are kind of obnoxious, right?
Mm-hmm.
So this right here now, if you remember, tenths, hundredths, thousands, 10,000s. Do you agree with that?
Yes.
So it would just be 236 over 10,000. Do you agree? You okay with that? Now, do you remember there's a rule that we learned? If the last two digits are divisible by 4, the whole thing is divisible by 4. All right? So you could have divided by 2, right? But you could have divided by 2 then a second time, right? Or you might as well save yourself some time and learn that rule and divide by 4. All right, now we're practicing our mental math, guys. Super important. So if I divide by 4, let's do this. 4 goes into 100 how many times? Everybody should know that. 25 times. So it'd be a 25 with how many zeros? Does everybody see that, right? Now again, I'm trying to show you some little shortcuts that helps you with your numbers. Does everybody understand that? All right. Now we're going to divide by 4. So how many times does 4 go into 23? 5 times. Is that right? So 5 times 4 is 20. Bless you. So I have 3 left over. Notice I put the 3 in the top corner, right? And now you say 4 goes into 36 how many times? Is everybody happy with that? Anybody else get 59 over 2,500? Right? Everybody happy? All right. Now, the next one, 0129, is kind of the same thing, right? 129 over what? 10,000. 129 over 10,000. Now, I'm trying to figure out if that reduces by anything.
Oh, yes.
Well, what number goes into 129? You should be able to see that. 3, right? So I'm just going to say this is 3 times 43 over 10,000. Is everybody with me on this so far? Now, does 43 go into 10,000? No. You with me on that? Right? Does 3 go into 10,000? 3 is prime and 43 is prime. So it can only be that, correct? So does that fraction really reduce? No. So those are your 2 answers. And whoever asked me about those 2 questions so far, that's a good job. All right, good job. Those are my answers. All right? Yes, sir. Good. 2 in the word problems? All right, let's do it. Again, these are the important ones. All right, that was number 3. Number 2, right? 1 foot is equivalent to 30.48 centimeters. Write the value as a mixed number in simplest form. So if you had to write it as a mixed number, right, that was when you had a whole number and a fraction, right? So you could have written it as what? 30 and 100, right? Then does everybody agree you could divide by 4, right? So that could be 30 and 12 over 25. You happy about that? That's not bad, right? Not bad at all, guys. We got that. All right, I'm feeling pretty good about that. Anybody else have any other quick question? Remember now, don't be shy about any question. All right, don't be shy about any question. Everybody good?
Yeah, I have a question.
Good. One more.
Number 4 on the word box.
Good for you. These are the important ones.
I just don't know. I know which area is a better deal, but I don't know why in place for you.
All right, let me show you what this means. All right, unit price is how much for 1. Do you agree? So if you get 7, here's how I learned how to do this, so it was really easy from now on. This should be easy for you. If I have 7 for $4, right? I only want what? 1. That's what unit price is. I don't want 7, I only want what? 1. How much is it going to cost me? Well, all right, I have 7, right? I would just do what? Divide by 7. Right? So I'm going to divide by 7. Is everybody with me?
Yes.
So 1 is going to cost me 4/7 of a dollar. All right? So it says, what is the unit price expressed as a fraction?
4/7.
Yes, 4/7. All right. Now, should I buy yogurt A or yogurt B? Well, I have to do the decimal, right? So I'm going to go ahead and do the decimal for 4/7, and this is what I expect you to do. 7 goes into 4.0. How many times does 7 go into 40? 5 times, right? So that would be 35 with 5 left over, right? So now it would be 7 goes into 50 7 times, right? So this would be about 57 cents. This would be about what? So I should go ahead and buy what? If you like B, if you like for the same, then you pick the cheaper one. Everybody with me on that? All right, so I like this method right here of how to find 1. I write it 7 for $4, and I want 1, so I've divided it up. All right? All right, that was a good job, guys, today. So do me a favor now. Let's open up the next assignment, which is 3 point what? Yeah, I don't know why this is out of date. All right, 3.3. Now what I want to do is I'm going to scroll through here to see how much work we have today. Not much. Not much. All right, the reason we don't have much is because we're reviewing multiplying fractions. All right, and I don't think this is that hard for you guys because you've done, I know you did multiplying fractions in 5th grade, but that's when you first learned it. You did multiplying fractions last year. This year, you're going to do multiplying fractions with positives and negatives, though. All right, that's the only difference. All right, so if you know how to multiply fractions today, it's easier. You just have to remember that if you multiply a positive times a negative, you get a what? Negative, right? 2 negatives multiplied together is a what? So that's all there is to it, guys. All there is to it. All right, so what I'm going to try to do in class today right now is we're going to zip down, and I'm going to do the odds, and you're going to do the evens for homework. Everybody good with this? All right, so let's blow this thing up. That's okay. All right, sometimes if there was another worksheet, I wouldn't make you do all of them. Yesterday we had a lot of worksheets. Today we only have 2. So I'm going to do the odds with you. You do evens for homework. Okay. The next class, I'm going to do the evens so you can check your work tonight on the video. Is everybody good with that? All right, perfect. That's exactly what it's there for. Subscribed. All right. I like that. All right.
Give me a shout
Here we
out.
go. Yeah, I'll give you a shout out. All right, here we go. So listen, on this real quick, I have 1/3 times negative 1/4. First of all, positive times a negative is a what? Negative. So our answer is going to be negative. Now please just watch up here real quick. Look what I'm doing. Can I reduce the 1 and the 4? No. Remember, we cross reduce. Can I reduce the 1 and the 3? No. So then all you're going to do is, if you recall, you're going to multiply the numerators together. So what's 1 times 1? Over, and then you multiply the denominators together. 3 times 4 is? So the answer is negative 1/12. Come on, guys. That is easy, easy, easy. All right, it does get a little bit harder, but that's the basics. All right, if you understand question number 1, you can do them all. All right, you can do every one of them. There's just a few little more rules that we have to talk about, though. All right, so now let's jump down to 3. So I want everybody to constantly look at diagonally. Can I reduce anything?
No.
No. So now all we have to do is multiply straight across. So that is just what? Come on, 6 over 77. I told you. Simple, simple, simple. But one of the most important things that you understand how to do is work with fractions. Most people cannot. All right, and I don't understand why. All right, so now we're going to look at number 5. Now I've got a little bit of problem on number 5 because I can reduce. Very good. So we're going to do this. I'm just going to highlight what I'm going to look at. The 3 and the 9. So you have to figure out what goes into 3 and 9. 3. So now I'm going to write the notes, but you don't have to. I'm going to put right here, divided by 3 and divided by 3, just in case you forgot, even though you don't have to do that. You should just know 3 divided by 3 is what? And 9 divided by 3 is?
3.
Just in case you forgot. All right? And so now we're doing positive times a positive, so that stays a positive. So the final answer now is
2 over 15.
2 over 15. 2 over 15. Does everybody agree that's pretty easy? Yes, sir.
Can't you also just reduce the fraction? Like, you don't have to calculate.
Yeah, you can multiply straight across and then reduce, but trust me, it's much easier to reduce first. It's always easier to reduce first because the numbers are smaller. All right? So now, the next thing I want to make sure everybody does is we have a negative times a positive.
It's a negative.
So I would write my answer negative first because if you don't, you may forget. All right? So now, negative, then I make my fraction bar. All right. So now, I'm looking to reduce the 4s. Both 4s just cancel to a 1. Nice. So here we go. 1, 1. Now you multiply straight across. The answer is
Negative 1, 9.
negative 1, 9. We are amazing. Yes, quickly.
So if you have like a whole number on
We're getting there. We're getting there. I promise you. All right. I'm going to do all of them with you just because it's that important. All right. I'm on number 9 now. All right. I can reduce 2. 2 goes into 2 what? Once. 2 goes into 4 twice. Now, can I reduce the 3 and the 5? Nope. So multiply straight across. Final answer. 3 over 10. Beautiful work. 3/10. 3/10. Everybody happy with that explanation? All right. Now, over here, again, I think it's important. Positive times a negative is a what?
negative.
Negative. So my answer has to be a negative. I like to write that first. So now in this case right here, I like this problem because I can reduce what? Both of them, right? You can reduce both of them. In other words, just to make sure, even though you're right, I can reduce this way and what? And this way this time. Does everybody see that? Does 5 go into 9? No, right? So you still can't reduce that, right? All right, look at me like I'm crazy. All right? You sometimes will be able to do both of them, correct?
Yeah.
But in this case, we cannot. All right? So now, if we reduce, that would be 7 goes into 7, what? And 7 goes into 14 twice. Final answer, Julia. You are amazing. Negative 5 over 18. Simple, simple, simple. All right? Uh-oh. 13's a little bit different. Yes. We put the 4 over 1. That's why we learned that previously. All right? Make it 4 over 1. Now I can do the 4 and the 16, right? So 4 goes into 4 once. And 4 goes into 16 4 times. Final answer. 5 over 4. Now listen to me. I want everybody to be able to, you don't have to write this, but just pay attention. I want everybody to see that's the same as 1 and 1/4. Does everybody agree with that?
Yeah.
4 goes into 5. 1 left over. Now listen to me. I want you to learn, right, that when you get to advanced math, we generally leave it as a what? Improper fraction. All right, we leave it as an improper fraction. However, if you don't know that 5/4 is 1 1/4, you need to know that. Does everybody understand that 5/4 is the same as 1 1/4? Right? So we're going to leave it as an improper fraction if you know how to work an improper to a mixed. Anybody have any questions with that? All right, so let's try the next one. -3 is the same as -3 over 1. Uh-oh. What's a negative times a negative?
Positive.
Yes. We don't have to worry about it. You agree? All right, now 3/9. This becomes a 1 and 9 becomes a final answer, guys. We are awesome. 8/3. 8/3. That's the final answer. Do we agree? Simple, right? All right, now we have an annoying problem. All right? We have an annoying problem because this is a what? Mixed fraction. Bless you. This is a mixed fraction. So in order to multiply, I've got to convert them to
Mixed numbers.
Yeah, you got to convert them to an improper fraction. All right. So now we've got to do that. Actually, they could reduce. You can always reduce if you can, but these don't reduce, right? What does? No. I understand what you're saying now. I misunderstood. This right here is what I mean by reducing. If you can reduce that fraction, you can reduce. But you can't reduce diagonally until you convert them into improper fraction. All right? So let's convert that real quick. So 12 2/3 is the same as what? Very good. -38/3 times 15/2. Beautiful. 15/2. Now the next step is you reduce. All right? So I want you to highlight. You're going to reduce these. Now, is the answer positive or negative?
Negative.
It's going to be negative. Now, 2 goes into 2 how many times? Once. 2 goes into 38? 19 times. Very good. Wow, that's what I was talking about earlier. You always got to be on your toes here because if you don't reduce, it makes the problem harder. So now this 3/15 becomes a 1 and a 5. Exactly. All right, now we're going to practice our mental math. 10 times 5. 9 times 5. 50 plus 45.
95.
95. Right? So this final answer is
-95.
or just what?
95.
-95. All right. Now's the time where you got to say how you're doing. All right. That's really about as hard as it can get. Is everybody okay with that? All right. So the rule, you must convert mixed to improper, then you multiply. All right.
Where does the
And
12 and the 7?
where does the 12 and the 7? Oh, remember that's when you multiplied. You remember now what you did over here just to make.
Yeah.
You good now? You did 3 times 12 plus 2. All right? So now let's take a look at 19 now. All right, here we go. So 19, the first fraction. All right, the first fraction. Vivian, what is that going to convert that to me? For me? 8 4/5 would be 44/5. Very good. All right. Reese, I need you to help me with, this is what I was trying to tell you. Look right here, guys. Look, this is what I was trying to point out. Remember when you guys said, can it reduce first? You can always reduce this first. Right? It makes the problem much easier if you do that. So 2 5/10 can be rewritten as what?
1/2.
2 1/2. Does everybody agree with that? See how much easier it makes the problem now, right? All right, so now convert 2 1/2 to a mixed number, and that would be what? Or to an improper fraction, be what, Reese?
2 times 2 is 4 plus 1 is. Wouldn't it
That
be
is,
5
yes, sir. Nice work. 5 over 2. Beautiful. All right. Hold on. I want to hear. Say it again. You good? All right, Connor. Help me out now. What can I reduce?
5 and 5.
Those just become what? 1s. All right? Now, what else can I reduce, Colin?
You can also reduce 44 and 2.
Yes, you can. What does 44 become?
22.
Beautiful. And the 2 becomes a?
1.
So your final answer is?
22 over 1.
22 over 1, which we're just going to go ahead and say is?
22.
22. Beautiful. Beautiful, beautiful. All right. Now, in number 21, a negative times a negative is a what?
Positive.
Positive. All right. So I can kind of just cross those out and not worry about them. Right. Now, I need 421. 6 2/5. Max, tell me what that is.
6 2/5 is 32 over 5.
Yes, that is correct. All right, 32 over 5. Caroline, tell me about 2 2/9. 20 over 9. Beautiful. Ellis, what can I reduce? You're awesome, girl. 5 and 20. What do I do?
5 would be a 1 and 20 is 4.
Beautiful. Can I reduce anything with 9 and 32? No. Sebastian, not finish this off for me. 32 times 4. Use your mental math. What's that? Good job. 128 over 9. Now again, guys, I can't reduce that because if I add 1, 2, and 8, it's not divisible by 9 or 3. Is everybody with me on this? Right? So we can leave it as 128 over 9. Yes, Sebastian.
Can you like divide across?
No. No, we're not doing that. If I don't tell you you can do it, don't do it. All right? All right, now we're getting into the algebra. It's not really a big deal. All right? What does this mean right here? Somebody help me out with what the meaning of this is. Will.
It's just variables.
Right, so what does that mean though? A, B.
Oh, it's really something.
Right. So what is A? Now, listen to me, guys. Look, I'm going to save you a bunch of time. You ready? Look up. I would never write 9/12. What is 9/12? 3/4, right? You should always reduce when you can. So I would change A right off the bat to what? 3/4. And now I just made the problem much easier. Reduce fractions when you can. Reduce fractions when you can. Now, 23. That means, what is A now? 3/4. What's B?
2 negative 2.
Now, what am I going to do with A and B, though?
You're going to multiply.
Multiply. But, correct. What am I going to do to negative 2?
Or negative 8.
Yeah, so I would even help myself out here and say B is equal to what?
9/4.
Negative 9 over 4. I would save myself a bunch of time. Does everybody agree with that?
Yes.
Right? So now, A times B. What is B again?
Negative 9/4.
So a positive times a negative is a negative. Now, can I reduce anything? No, I can't. So final answer.
27 over 16.
Yes. Don't forget that it's a what?
Negative.
Yeah, don't forget it's a negative. Negative 27 over 16. Everybody good?
Yes.
All right, 25. Uh-oh. 5/8. Now, what's A again, guys?
3/4.
Times 3/4. What's C? 2/5. All right, now this is nice because I'm going to go over some rules about reducing. You can reduce whenever one's in the top and one's on the bottom. Now, what am I trying to show you that? I want you to look at the 5s. Can I reduce the 5s?
So one.
Yes. This is a 1, and this is a 1.
Or you can the 2.
The 2 and the 8 would be good. Could I do the 2 and the 4?
Yes.
Does it matter? No. So she said the 2 and the 8, so we're going to do that. 1 and 4. Beautiful. All right. Madeline, what's my final answer? Yes, ma'am. Beautiful. 3 over 16. All right. Is everybody good with that?
Yes.
All right. That's not bad now. Not bad at all. All right. Let's check out 27. Uh-oh. Negative 5.5. I'd automatically change to Avery. Beautiful. Negative 11 over 2. Now, what was A again?
3/4.
And what was B?
9/4.
Positive or negative?
Negative.
Was it negative 9/4?
Yes.
Now it's positive.
Right. So the 2 negatives make it a what?
Positive.
Positive. Now, look what you could do, guys. So there's no problem. I'm going to eliminate the 2 negatives because the 2 negatives make it a what?
Positive.
Positive. Now, last problem for me. So now I need somebody to tell me if anything can reduce. Can anybody see something that reduces? I don't think so. I have 11 in the top, right? So that doesn't reduce by 2, 4, or 3, right? I have 3, which doesn't reduce, and 9 doesn't reduce by 2 or 4. Do I agree? So now it's just kind of annoying because we have to multiply straight across. Now, if you remember the rules for 11, I want to remind you, it's easier for me to multiply 9 times 3, which is what? 27. And then my rule for 27 times 11. Remember, you write the 2 down. Then you add the 2 numbers together. Then you write the last number down, 297.
Whoa.
All right? Is that nice? All right? Now, 2 times 4 is?
8.
8 times 4 is?
32.
And guess what, guys?
Math.
That is math. That is your answer. That's your answer. Okay? Now, really nice job today, guys. Listen, I don't want to do the word problems. I want you to give that your shot tonight. Do those word problems. And I want 1 through 6. Those are the important problems. 1 through 6. And then I want you to knock out the what? The evens. All right, knock out the evens. All right, is everybody feeling good about that? All right, should be pretty easy. How much time do we have left? Anybody know? 17 minutes.
No, we have 15.
Okay, perfect. So that gives you lots of time to do your work so you don't have a bunch of homework. Don't sit here and talk and waste time. Be efficient. All right, do your work. In the meantime, I'm going to call you up to my desk and you're going to show me your iPads. I'm going to check a few assignments just to make sure we're good. But that was another excellent day today, guys. Good job.